So, let's talk about Russia. When you think of Russia, you might think of many things. Intricate history, powerful leaders, distinctive architecture. But first, size. Russia isn't just big, it's stupendously, mind-bogglingly enormous. By a very wide margin, it's the largest country on Earth. Trying to wrap your head around it can leave you feeling tiny, a speck on a globe. You can fly for hours and still be in the same country. The vastness has shaped its history, culture, politics, and people. It dwarfs other large nations. The difference is in the millions. From the Baltic Sea in the west to the Pacific Ocean in the east, Russia crosses 11 time zones. Morning in Kaliningrad, night in Kamchatka. It literally spans Europe and Asia. That transcontinental span creates a unique identity. A bridge between east and west, a world unto itself. Thinking about it is almost like contemplating the distance to a star. It contains a huge variety of landscapes. Frozen tundra, dense forests, vast plains, towering mountain ranges. So let's dive into the specifics. The numbers tell the real story. Alright, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the hard data, the stuff that really puts Russia's size into perspective. The total land area of Russia is approximately 17.1 million square kilometers, or about 6.6 million square miles. To be clear, that is an absolutely colossal figure. It is so vast that it accounts for more than 11% of the Earth's total landmass. Think about that for a second. More than 1/9 of all the land on our planet is contained within the borders of this single country. Every continent, every island, every speck of dirt, Russia has a significant portion of it. It's a statistic that sounds almost made up, but it's entirely true. To give you a better sense of scale, let's do some comparisons, because that's where the fun really is. Russia is so big that it is nearly twice the size of the second largest country, Canada. You could fit the entire United States into Russia almost 2 times over. In fact, Russia is larger than the entire continent of Antarctica, and almost as large as the entire continent of South America. You could take the United Kingdom and fit it inside Russia about 70 times. It's a country of continental proportions, a geographical giant that stands alone in the world atlas. Its borders stretch for over 20,000 kilometers, touching 14 different countries. This immense size means that Russia spans across 2 continents. The western part of the country, west of the Ural Mountains, is considered part of Europe, while the vast expanse to the east of the Urals is part of Asia. This transcontinental nature is fundamental to understanding Russia. It's not just a European country, nor is it just an Asian one, it is uniquely both. This has created a rich and complex identity, a nation that has historically looked both east and west for its cultural and political inspiration. The Ural Mountains serve as a symbolic, if not entirely definitive, dividing line in this colossal nation. The sheer scale of the country is almost impossible to overstate. When you look at a flat map of the world, a Mercator projection, Russia often looks even bigger than it actually is due to distortion near the poles. But even on a globe, which gives a more accurate representation of size, its dominance is undeniable. It stretches from the Arctic Ocean in the north to the Black Sea. Now in the heart of this vast European plain lies Russia's capital, Moscow. It's a sprawling, vibrant metropolis that serves as the country's political center. That serves as the country's economic center. That serves as the country's cultural center. With a population of over 12 million people, Moscow is one of the largest cities in Europe and a true global hub. Its iconic landmarks are symbols recognized around the world. There are many cities in large Russia, such as St. Petersburg, and Russia has almost 1,100 towns and cities in its 46 provinces. Moscow is a city that pulses with energy, a testament to Russia's enduring power and influence. It is the nerve center from which this enormous country is governed, a focal point in a land of seemingly endless space. But here is where we encounter a fascinating paradox, a real head-scratcher. Despite its gargantuan landmass, Russia's population is surprisingly small in comparison. The country is home to about 145 million people. Now, 145 million is a lot of people, don't get me wrong. It makes Russia the 9th most populous country in the world. However, when you consider its size, that number tells a very different story. Russia contains over 11% of the world's land, but its population makes up less than 2% of the total global population. It's a striking imbalance that defines much of the Russian experience. This discrepancy between land area and population density is one of the most defining characteristics of Russia. On average, the country has a population density of only about 9 people per square kilometer. To put that into perspective, The global average is around 60 people per square kilometer, and in a country like the Netherlands, it's over 500. This means that vast, enormous stretches of Russia are virtually uninhabited. So, why is this gigantic country so sparsely populated? Well, a huge part of the answer can be summed up in just one word: cold. A massive portion of Russia, especially the vast region east of the Ural Mountains known as Siberia, is subject to some of the most extreme and frigid climates on Earth. Siberia alone is actually larger than the entire United States, and it's a land of long, brutal winters. Temperatures here can plummet to astonishing lows, making large-scale human settlement incredibly difficult, if not impossible. It's a beautiful but honestly unforgiving landscape. This cold climate is not just a minor inconvenience, it's a dominant force that shapes life in Russia. For much of the year, large parts of the country are covered in snow and ice. The northern regions lie within the Arctic Circle, experiencing polar nights where the sun doesn't rise for weeks. Permafrost covers about 65% of Russia's landmass, making construction, farming, and transportation incredibly challenging. This ever-present cold is why most people live in the milder western part of the country. Siberia is the poster child for Russia's climate extremes. It's a region of breathtaking beauty with vast forests, the taiga, and the world's largest freshwater lake, Lake Baikal. But it's also home to some of the coldest inhabited places on Earth. Oymyakon is known as the Pole of Cold, with recorded temperatures below -71 degrees Celsius or -96 degrees Fahrenheit. Living in such conditions requires incredible resilience and adaptation. The cold has historically served as a natural defense for Russia, famously helping to repel Napoleon and Hitler, but it also limits where people can comfortably live. This creates a stark division: European Russia, more temperate, continental; Asian Russia, a world apart. When you combine this immense cold territory with its relatively small population, you really start to see the bigger picture of what makes Russia so unique. This is a nation that has been fundamentally shaped by its geography. Its history is a story of expansion, of a people pushing outwards from a small medieval state centered around Moscow to eventually control a territory that spans nearly half the globe. This relentless eastward expansion across Siberia in search of furs and fortune is a key part of the Russian story, an epic tale of exploration and conquest against incredible odds and harsh conditions. This fascinating history is as vast and complex as its geography. From the early Kievan Ruses and the Mongol invasion to the rise of the Tsars like Ivan the Terrible and Peter the Great, Russia's past is filled with drama, turmoil, and transformation. The 20th century brought the Russian Revolution, the rise and fall of the Soviet Union, and the Cold War, events that reshaped not only Russia, but the entire world. This history is deeply intertwined with the country's sense of identity, its relationship with its neighbors, and its place on the global stage. It's a story of empire, revolution, and resilience. The legacy of this history is visible everywhere in Russia today, from the imperial palaces of St. Petersburg to the stark Soviet-era architecture found in cities across the country. It has produced some of the world's greatest literature, music, and art, with giants like Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, Tchaikovsky, and Kandinsky. The country's journey through monarchy, communism, and modern federalism has created a culture that is deeply layered and honestly, often full of contradictions. It is a nation that is intensely proud of its past while constantly grappling with its future direction, all played out on the world's largest stage. In the end, Russia is a country of superlatives and paradoxes. It's huge, cold, and has a population that seems almost lost within its boundless plains. It's a place where geography is not just a backdrop, but a central character in the nation's story. Its sheer size has given it immense power and resources, but also presented it with unparalleled challenges. From its vibrant capital in Moscow to the frozen emptiness of Siberia, Russia remains a land of profound contrasts and enduring fascination, a colossal and unique presence that continues to shape our world in countless ways. Russia is huge and unique in many ways,